Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Horus the Black Flame Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that summons out one of the coolest monsters in the entire game. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come burn notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 2 copies of Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 8. This card is super easy to summon in this deck and has a crazy powerful effect that while this card remains face up on your side of the field, you can negate the activation and effects of any spell cards and destroy them, which is such a powerful effect. This card cannot be normal summoned or set, it must be special summoned by the effect of the Black Flame Dragon, level 6, but that's super easy to do in this build. We then play 3 copies of Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 6. This card is amazing and helps us summon out our copy of its level 8 version with a really cool ability that during the end phase of a turn that this card destroyed a monster by battle and sent it to the graveyard, you can send this card to the graveyard and then special summon a Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 8, from your hand or deck, which is a crazy powerful effect to instantly bring out our copy of level 8 to our side of the field so we can start negating spells. We then play a single copy of Horus the Black Flame Deity. This card is really good in the deck as a 1-of because it has an insane ability. If you control a Horus monster and King Sarcophagus, you can reveal this card in your hand and then send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to be able to send a card on the field to the graveyard, non-targeting, which is an insane effect. We then play 3 copies of Imseti. Imseti is great as a 3-of in the build because this card helps us search out our copy of King Sarcophagus from our deck or hand with the ability that you can send this card and another card from your hand to the graveyard to be able to search King Sarcophagus from your deck or hand and draw a card. We then play a single copy of Happy. Happy is really good as a 1-of in the build because it's super easy to summon out to your side of the field using its effect, and it's a great name to be able to play in the build. We then play a single copy of Blessing of Horus. Blessing is really good as a 1-of in the build as well, as this card can come out absolutely massive because for every Horus monster on your side of the field, this card gains 1200 attack and defense points, making this card absolutely massive when you have 5 Horus monsters on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Protection of Horus. Protection is great as a 1-of in the build, just have as an additional name. And the really cool thing about all of these Horus monsters is they actually revive themselves from the graveyard if you control King Sarcophagus on your side of the field, making it super easy to have a monster on the field so you can tribute summon out your copy of level 6, destroy a monster from a battle, and then tag it into your copy of level 8, which is so easy to do in this build. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn. Unicorn is an amazing 3-of in the build to easily summon out to your side of the field, as if you don't control a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand, and this card also helps rip cards out of your opponent's extract, which is absolutely insane, making this card definitely a 3-of in the build. And also, it's great in the build because you can summon out to your side of the field, grab your copy of Birth from deck to hand, activate Birth, then tribute summon your copy of level 6 by tributing Unicorn, and then use Birth to instantly bring back Unicorn to your side of the field, basically getting your copy of level 6 out on your side of the field for free, which is insane. We then play 3 copies of Fenrir. Fenrir is great because this card helps you spell move cards off the field, can search additional Kashtiras from your deck to your hand, and it can also just instantly bring itself out to your side of the field if you don't control a monster, which is so cool. And the amazing thing about this card is if you do summon it out to your side of the field and you search an additional Kashtira monster, you can use it with King Sarcophagus to be able to send another one of your Horus names to the graveyard, basically getting cards in the graveyard, which is really nice. We then play a single copy of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. We play this card as a 1-of in the build to be able to work with our copy of Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, so we can search our field spells from our deck to our hand. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Kashtira Birth. Cast Your Birth is searchable off the effect of Unicorn, and this card is basically like a monster reborn for our Cashier cards, because during the main phase, you can special summon one of your non-XZ Cashier monsters that's banished or in the graveyard back to your side of the field, which is such a powerful effect. Plus, you can normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing, which is an insane effect to instantly bring out your copy of your Cashier monsters to your side of the field. We play a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming's great as a one-of in the build to basically just search out the exact field spell that we need from our deck to our hand. We play a single copy of Secret Village of the Spellcaster. This card is awesome to work with our copy of Imseti, because basically your copy of Imseti is a Spellcaster monster, and as long as you control a Spellcaster monster, your opponent cannot activate spell cards, which is insane to pair in this deck. We play a single copy of Pressured Planet. Pressured Planet is great as a one-of in the build to be able to search out a Cashier monster directly from your deck to your hand, and it also works really well with your copies of your Horus monsters because they're different attributes. Those monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense points for each different attribute on the field, which is an insane effect. We then play 3 copies of Walls of the Imperial Tomb. This card is so good in the deck as a 3-of, because this card is actually a rota for the deck, because this card's name becomes King Sarcophagus while on the field, and during the main phase, you can actually add a Horus monster from your deck to your hand, which can search out your copy of level 6 or Imseti directly from your deck to your hand, depending on what you're missing, to be able to help you go in for your plays. But then you place a card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, which is a great effect just in case you draw in your copy of level 8, you can put it back, or one of your Horus names that you really don't need, you can put it back in the deck with this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Level Up. Level Up is amazing because this card works with your copy of level 6 to be able to turn it into a copy of level 8. Super easy by just normal summoning out your copy of level 6 or summoning it out to your side of the field. You can use Level Up to turn it into a copy of level 8, essentially leveling it up. We then play 3 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. Goods is good. This card is amazing in the deck to help you send your copy of Rainbow Bridge of Salvation from your deck to the graveyard so you can banish it and then be able to search out a field spell and your copy of your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon directly from your deck to your hand, which is so good. We then play 3 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In is great because this card actually solves 2 problems for the deck, helping you draw cards and helping you get your level 8s out of your hand. This card is insane in the deck to help you just discard a level 8 monster, which you can even discard your copy of your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to the graveyard because it is a level 8 monster, which is why I play that one over all the other Crystal Beast monsters, and it's just really good in the deck to help us dig in the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of King Sarcophagus. King Sarcophagus is definitely a 3-of in the build. This card is so helpful in the deck, letting you have the insane ability that up to 4 times per turn you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard to send a Horus monster from your deck to the graveyard, and Horus monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects that do not target them specifically, which is such an insane effect. And once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send that opponent's monster to the graveyard, which is such a powerful effect, especially to pair with your copy of level 8, since it does count as a Horus monster. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Kentopic Protector. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build to help you swarm the board, because once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, you can special summon a Horus monster from your hand or graveyard. But for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters with the same original name by the effect of Kentopic Protector. And if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. But that's an insane ability to instantly bring this card out to your side of the field and bring out a bunch of Horus monsters to the field with this card's effect. We then play 2 copies of Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Rainbow Bridge of Salvation is great in the deck as a 2-of, as it is a once per duel effect to be able to banish it from the graveyard, to be able to search out the field spells that you need, but it's really good to be able to use in the deck, so if you draw into it, you can use it, or if you want to send it to the graveyard off your copy of Foolish Burial Goods, you can, but I really want to see this card in the deck, so it's really important to help us search out our field spells, which is why I play this card as a 2-of in the build. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of the Zombie Vampire. All of our Horus monsters are basically level 8, so we can use this card in the deck to help us mill a bunch of cards to the graveyard, and then bring back a monster among the cards that we mill to the graveyard, which is really cool, as when this card is actually summoned out to your side of the field, you can detach a material from this card and then send the top 4 cards of both players' decks to the graveyard, pick a monster among those 8 cards, and then bring it back to your side of the field, which is such a powerful effect. I'm going to see a copy of number 38 because this card is a spell negate. One copy of number 90. Number 90 is awesome in this deck as a 1-0 because it's actually a monster negate. One copy of Garunic's Eternity. This card is insane in the deck as a 1-0 because this card has the ability, if this card is a Z summon, destroy all the monsters on the field. And you can also detach a material on this card and then target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. And if you do, this card gains 500 attack, pushing this card to 3,500. Then I send a copy of Dengirsu just in case you need to send a card to the graveyard, because when this card is a Z summon, you get to send a card to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability. One copy of Coach King. Coach King is insane just in case you need to dig into the deck, as this card has the ability up to thrice per turn you can detach a material in this card. It does require 3 materials, so you can basically detach all 3 of its materials, draw a card for each material, and then for every monster that you draw, you reveal it, and you inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent, doing a maximum of 2,400 points of damage, but you cannot declare an attack this turn, basically because you cannot enter your battle phase. We then made a single copy of Zeus just to board wipe the field. One copy of Typhon. Typhon is just really good overall in the build as a 1-0, as if you go second, you can easily make this card. It's a skill drain for 3,000 or higher attack point monsters, which you do have to watch out for in this deck, but it's great to be able to summon because it's a bounce. We made a single copy of Underworld Goddess because this deck easily summons out 4 monsters to the field with your Horus monsters, and it's really good to help you out towers like boss monsters your opponent might be playing. One copy of Access Code. Access Code's great in the deck as a 1-0 to be able to summon because it comes out absolutely massive and can pop multiple cards on the field. One copy of the Blackluster Soldier Link monster. This card is super easy to summon. If you use a level 7 or higher monster to make this card, then you actually make it so your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects either. And when it destroys a monster by battle, you can actually make this card gain 1,500 attack points permanently. You can make a second attack during the following battle phase, or you non-targeting banish a card out the field, which is so cool. And then I assume a copy of Selene. Selene's great in the deck as a 1-0 to be able to bring back one of your spellcasters and then climb into Access Code. One copy of the Dark Charmer, because we do play quite a few darks in the deck, so this card is really helpful in the build to basically help you climb into your copy of Selene and then Access Code. And then I assume a copy of SP. SP's great as a double interruption in the deck. And then finally, a single copy of IP to be able to make SP during the opponent's turn, or even an Underworld Goddess. So that's going to do for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this deck. It's super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Horus the Black Flame Dragon deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so fun to be able to play, and it's insane how easy it is to summon out Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8. So you can basically control the board from spell cards, which is so fun to be able to do. Plus, this card is such a classic boss monster. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part notifications. Want to see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.